Hello and welcome to Couch Therapy. What is Couch Therapy? It's going to be an ongoing series on my channel now that I'm going to release every Tuesday, or maybe that'll be Monday, whatever the time difference is in Japan, Monday or Tuesday. And it's going to be a return to kind of the thing that I used to enjoy doing on my channel, and which is how I originally started, which was sort of cultural discussions and question and answer videos about living over in Japan, or any aspect really about coming and living here, question and answer. And as I say on top of that, sort of a cultural discussion, because we're always going through life and observing interesting things, and of course maybe even more so when you come over to a place like this and you have all these new experiences. And I don't think that they've lessened in the time that I've been here now, a little over 3 and something years. I still have just as many, and I have these thoughts, but because I moved to a more visual narrative vlog style, I've lost touch with this. And I really want to get back to it, maybe first and foremost because I really love the community interaction that results from it, which is basically that people feel like they can ask me questions and that they'll get answered in a video, and it won't simply be in the comments. There'll be a longer there'll be more justice done to them because I'll actually dedicate more significant time to them. So that's why I'm going to do it. And yeah, it's going to be every Tuesday. If you have any questions, you can get a hold of me through Twitter. That's a great way to do it, through Instagram, any of the social media platforms. I'll probably, like right now in the video, I'll do the bar across the bottom if you want to follow me on any of those to ask me questions or suggest the topic for discussion, because it could be discussional. Like I said, it doesn't have to be question and answer. Just get a hold of me in whatever social media way that you feel comfortable with, and it'll probably end up in a video on one of these Tuesdays, and I'll probably do like votes on Twitter for it and stuff like that, maybe just once it gets rolling, to see what it is that people really want to see discussed in the video. But the topic today, because I've gone on there for about 2 minutes, just kind of giving an intro as to what this is going to be and how it's going to function, was I got this great email, good old email. I used to love answering these, and it's from I'm going to try that again. Adamayawa Balogan. Adamayawa Balogan. And this wonderful subscriber wrote in and asked, they were hired recently and they're going to be, I'll keep some of the details out of this for privacy reasons. They've been hired to go to this particular area. Do I know what the area is like? Actually, I can say this. It's a big area, to Fukuoka. And what do I think of that area? Is it a good place to start? Asked to be in Kansai. This is the first placement. What do I think is, where do I think is some of the best places to live in Japan? And I'm not just saying this, it's a really good question, and I get asked quite a number of times this question, and I've thought about it at length, and I think I have a good answer for it, and it's that yes, if there were a very specific thing that you were looking for, then we might be able to discuss a place that you absolutely should go to. Say, for example, you're a surfer. Then it's a no-brainer, whereas I lived on the east coast of Japan before. That's where the waves are. It's probably somewhere like that you want to go. If you're a person who feels predisposed to living in a particular setting, say, for example, like the city, then you want to go to a big city, and you could discuss the sort of cities that you want to go to and be a part of. But I find even more so than that people are coming over, and when they ask me this question, it's a sort of blank slate question. They don't even have a preference to any particular place that it is that they would live, but we always ask, what's a great place to live? And so they ask the question to me. And what I would say is, this will be echoed in so many of my videos, but it's not lip service. It really is the truth. If you can wrap your head around it, carry it with you for a lot of things, is that probably the place that nobody could tell you about. Now, what do I mean by that? I can elaborate. So basically, the places that people tell you about and that are popular are mainstream and in call it mass awareness spectrum. And so they get brought up again and again and again. But really, there's so many amazing places that you could go to that you wouldn't even know the name of or why it is that you might like them unless you would go there. And so I'm advocating for, if you don't have one of these particular things that it is that you want to do, say surfing, say live in the countryside, if you're more open to whatever kind of experience that you might meet while you come here, don't have so much of a preference when you come, and I think you'll be really positively surprised. And so I can go on to give a sort of anecdote for this. Like, I lived, at least initially, for the first couple of years that I was here, I lived in a small town, it was called Sanmu. And Sanmu on the radar, it's really unimpressive. So like, I remember them hyping it to me by saying, you know, oh, there's like a McDonald's near your house. And I was like, okay. Like, I couldn't care less. I do not care about McDonald's. I'm not so high and lofty that I won't eat it, but in terms of where will I choose my next residence, I don't really care. And so this place, if that was the number one thing that they were hyping in terms of quantitative evidence why you might go somewhere to live, they didn't have a lot on paper, but I thought, whatever. I mean, it's adventure enough to go over to Japan and check that out. And once I'd arrived and got used to it a bit, start venturing out and exploring the local area, I very quickly found this little Indian restaurant. And this like little unassuming Indian restaurant was run by like some of the nicest people I've ever met in my entire life. And I go in, and like in a very short period of time, like I go in, the guy would like shake my hand, we'd like have great discussion about how life was going and everything. He'd like, by the end we were good friends. We were like, give each other a hug at Christmas, like that kind of thing. And you could never tell someone to go to live in Sanmu and to be able to find that kind of experience. In fact, some of the best experiences you could have living in Japan are the ones that people couldn't tell you to have. More along the lines of, like I say, you be open to the surprise and kind of the whole adventure of the experience, and you'll get something much more than even something really impressive like access to a bunch of different amenities. Usually this kind of thing is based in relationships. But another example as well, nobody ever talked about it, but there was this really, really beautiful, I believe it was a shrine. That was in the local area that I lived. And I had so many incredible experiences there with, like, I had a roommate for a short period of time. I had another neighbor that lived near me. And there were great nights where we would, like, because you can drink publicly in Japan, and it's not a bad thing if you're not a moron. And my buddy at the time was a vegetarian, non-drinker, but I would have drinks. And we would go on this walk to this local temple, and some of my happiest memories in Japan were getting a couple beers under my belt, going to this temple, and discussing the different experiences that we had. Another example as well, actually this leads me into it, is the whole idea that guy is now, I would consider him like a brother to me. And there was no predicting that person would ever be in that place, and he is probably one of the things that I remember most from the experience there. It was that when I went to this nondescript, unattractive place to live, that I ended up meeting one of the best friends that I'll have for the rest of my life. So you've probably experienced things like this if you've moved around at all in your own home country, but Japan is no different. It's something I've said as well, where, like, yes, there are cultural differences, but people are the same. Life, in essence, is the same wherever you go in the world, and these sort of greater truths regarding our approach to life will always be true. And that is that, yes, there's like a mainstream way to look at, or not mainstream even, but there's sort of like the typical way that you might look at going somewhere and saying what is a good place to live. But in a modern society, most of those things, the truly important things, are met. It's that you would have like running water, electricity, access to basic amenities, this, that, and the other thing. Unless you very specifically, like I said early on, need or have like a profound interest in whatever outlets or activity that it is that you might do. So where is the best place in Japan? it's where no one can tell you about. It's that place that when you say the name of it, people are like, what city is that? And you are the first person to discover it, adding to the story. So even once you're there, and it is, like I say, you are the first person there, isn't that much more impressive? That like when you go back, yeah, it's cool to live in Tokyo or Osaka, or I hear great things about Nagoya as well, but that you went to this town or smaller city that nobody ever talked about, but you found it. You have kind of that it makes you much more of a pioneer of your experience to do it in this way that I'm discussing, and where I almost always advocate open-mindedness, almost to the point of putting people to sleep. I really do have to echo it in this case again. It is this kind of situation, and that's what I would throw in my money for, throw in my hat for, in this particular situation, as to where you would live in Japan. Yeah, kind of experimenting with the lengths of these videos. They don't need to be huge. I think that'll be a good start, kind of like let people know. Please do, as I say, fire me questions. Fire them on all those social media outlets that I was talking about. Send me an email if you'd like, if you feel like you want to write something in greater length. I really enjoy reading through those as well. If you're into gaming, I'm going to be active on my gaming channel again very, very shortly, so check that out. Link be down in the description. I won't clutter the screen. If you're into reading, I've got my book released now, ebook, that you can read on Kindle. I'll probably put the image for that up like right there. And I'm really, really excited to be doing this again. I think it'll be really cool. One of the first things, if you're still here checking the video out at this point, I'm gonna do is I want to get like a cool backdrop. I mean, the couch is really the central theme of this whole thing, and I really do. I like the couch, although it's pretty mini. But I love photography as well, and with this new camera, I've been taking a bunch more pictures, and I got this incredible shot of the Tokyo skyline while I was in Ichikawa. It was like this miracle day. It was all cloudy. I didn't expect to get it, but it shows Mount Fuji. It's got Tokyo Tower, Tokyo Skytree, the whole deal. It's so beautiful. And I found a print place online, so I'm getting this massive 36 by 48 print that I'm gonna put up behind me here. So hopefully in short order, there'll be like some cool scenery behind me while I go on about whatever other details from emails or cultural things that I've noticed in the country. All right, so thanks for accompanying me today on this journey of cathartic discussion. And I will catch you guys in the next round, as this will be an ongoing series next Tuesday. Such a blessing as well. I think like this, even if I do edit, it's not going to be like anything that I'm doing on the weekends. All right, well, thanks for checking out this video, guys and gals. Please do like, subscribe, comment, share, hit me up, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.